Bill Corcoran, Newcastle United Fans Foodbank, volunteer. My friend Colin Whittle said to me and my friend Steve Hasty, we should have a football food bank like the lads in Liverpool have. And we looked at each other and went, yeah, we should. So I asked Shirley who runs the Newcastle Citizens Advice Bureau, and she said, right, you need to meet Mike Nixon from the West End Food Bank. And Mike just blew our minds because we sat around the table. And then he said the thing that boggled our minds. He said, oh yeah, half of the food that we're using in the largest food bank in Britain, feeding 1,000 of our fellow Geordies every week, half of that came from London. And we're all Newcastle United fans, and we're very proud of the city we live in, we're proud of our region, our people. And to have the disgrace of having the largest food bank in the country, and compounding that, the fact that notwithstanding that half of that provision came from people in London who we routinely spend our time on the terraces shouting nasty things about, both give us pause to consider that we should be kinder to the people of London who are doing this marvellous thing, but also that we just couldn't have that, we had to do something about that. And we looked at each other and kind of went, no, we're not having that. We pride ourselves on having a horizontal organisational structure. In current parlance, that means we all do everything and we have no real rigid hierarchies. We're here to help. The best help we can be often is to stand outside St James's Park on a Saturday afternoon before the match and shake a bucket. And we collect between £1,500 to £5,000 nearly, which we got out at Christmas against the Man United game. And that gives the most direct help possible to the people at the food bank, because they can feed a family of four for £5 a week. They can feed an individual for £2, I think. They can feed a couple for £3. But that's been a game changer for us, having the ability to collect money on the streets, for which we have to thank the City Council, which has given us a permit which allows us to do that, not just for the football, but for anything. So Ed Sheeran was on, we were there. Magic Weekend with the Rugby League lads, we were there. We're still deciding whether or not we'll be there for the rugby at the end of the football season. We'll see, depends. Food banks are an obscenity. There's a building opposite, what's it called now, 55 Degrees North in the centre of the city on a roundabout, and it's the Holy Jesus Hospital, and on the side of it there's an engraving that says Soup Kitchen, 1880. When you're living in affluent and we hope decent and dignified society, for 1,000 people a week in the city to not have the means to feed themselves is not just a disgrace, it's an obscenity. We never want to be an institution. We never want to have a stone carving saying Food Bank 2019. We want to be abolished as soon as possible. This is an emergency community response. It's tantamount to rationing in a war. It's something you want to get rid of as soon as possible. Many times we've got many of the volunteers who come and help us collect have had bad times themselves. It's quite weird. You get, maybe 3 distinct categories. People who have been through it, and part of it could be that they've had bad times with other people. They come to the football match to see 50,000 people walk past them smiling. That's an incredibly positive thing. Not many people have that. If you go and interview people, look, what do you want to talk me for? Not many people are in situations where people are just blissfully happy. Before the football match, before we get beat, when we're still optimistic, it's one of those positive places. So I feel that that's been a real boost to them, to put them in that situation, and I think they get something from that. I think we have people who have very comfortable, senior executive roles, and they come along and they've never really met a great mass of football fans as well, and you get people like me in the middle who think, we just need to get this done and get it finished. But we've had lots of people who give us a couple of quid and said, oh yeah, I needed to use you last year, and I'm sort of going, well, look, you sure, mate, you know, seriously, we're not going to fall apart because of your 2 quid. And I go, no, this is important, and that helped me. And of course, it's great when it happens, and I think it's logical to understand that people just need a hand up now and again. Yeah, we've seen people who have done amazing things, you know, compared to what we've done. They put us in the shade because they've Saeed, who was a taxi driver from Mogadishu. Nothing can scare Saeed. He's been through everything. He's dealt with gang loads at the back of his taxi in Mogadishu. He's not worried by anything, and there he is. He doesn't have to be here. He's not getting paid for it. You know, he's helping out people because he was helped. We have lads who, you know, not been in the football ground for 15 years. They still come along to help out because they want to do that, and they got helped in the past. So it's a positive thing. We just wish it was going into maybe something that was more constructive for the city and its people.